Destiny 2 is dying, but why? For years, Destiny 2 has been one of the biggest live services games in the world. Millions of players, award-winning expansions, some of the biggest gunplay in gaming. And yet, if you've spent any time in the community recently, you've probably heard some phrases over and over again. Destiny 2 is dying. But is it actually dying? Or is this just another cycle of community frustration? Today we're going to look at why so many players believe that Destiny 2 is in trouble, what's really happening behind the scenes, and whether Bungie's legendary looter shooter can recover. The cycle. Destiny 2 has expansions and old trailers. Before we can talk about Destiny 2's problem, we need to understand something people have been saying. Destiny 2 is dying for almost a decade. Every major content drought, every controversial update, and every unpopular expansion, the community declares the game finished. Then a major release arrives and player numbers explode again. We've seen it happen after Destiny 1, and after Forsaken, and after Beyond Light, and after the Witch Queen. So what makes it different this time? Many players argue that the issues facing Destiny 2 aren't just temporary frustrations. They're structural problems that the game has been building for years. Player fatigue. One of the biggest complaints is simple. Players are tired. For years, Destiny 2 has followed fairly predictable formulas. A new season launches, players grind a new activity, collect new exotic weapons, level up, complete the story, and then repeat the process a few months later. At first, the model actually worked really good, but then after the years, similar seasonal structures, and many veteran players feel like they're running on a treadmill. The rewards change, the activities change, but overall the experience often feels familiar, all the same. And eventually, even great gameplay can struggle to overcome burnout. And now I'm going to speak on a different, new problem. The new player problem. Another major issue is onboarding. Imagine you've never played Destiny 2, right? And you download the game and you're immediately bombarded with quests, expansions, currencies, storylines, and mechanics. Characters are talking about events that happened years ago. Entire campaigns have been removed. Important story moments are inaccessible. And before long, many new players simply just quit. Veteran players actually understand Destiny's system. New players often don't. For a live service game, that's a dangerous problem. Because if old players leave and new players aren't staying, population decline becomes much harder to reverse. Content vaulting and lost history. One of Destiny's most controversial decisions Bungie has ever made was content vaulting. Large portions of Destiny 2's earlier content was removed from the game. Bungie argued that maintaining every expansion indefinitely had become technically difficult and was slowing development. From a development perspective, the reasoning made sense, but many players felt like pieces of the game history disappeared overnight. Imagine recommending a TV show to a friend, right? And the first several seasons are missing. That's how some players describe the introduction to new people playing Destiny 2 today. The story is still there, but parts are fragmented or entirely gone. Also, there are trust issues. Perhaps one of the biggest challenges isn't gameplay, it's trust. Live service games rely heavy on player confidence. Players need to believe that time interest matters. They need confidence that future updates will improve the game. And over years, some controversial decisions have damaged that trust. Balancing changes. Modelized concerns, content removals, changes to the progression systems. Even when Bungie introduced positive updates, some players approach them with speculation. And rebuilding trust is much harder than losing it. Completion has changed. When Destiny 2 launched, the gaming landscape looked very different. Today, many players have more options than ever. Free-to-play shooters, MMOs, extraction games, battle royales, co-ops experiences, and countless live services titles competing for attention. Players no longer want detective themselves to a single game the way they often did years ago. Their time is spread across multiple experiences, which mean even successful games can see lower engagement than they once enjoyed. Is Destiny 2 actually dying? Now here we are. Now things get very interesting. Despite all the criticism, Destiny 2 still has strengths that a few games cannot match. The gameplay remains exceptional. The raids are among the best cooperative experiences in gaming. The art decision is outstanding. The soundtrack is phenomenal, and Destiny 2 is firing on all cylinders. Very few games feel like it. That's why predictions of Destiny death have been repeatedly been proven wrong. The game is still dedicated player-based. It still generates enormous discussion. And people generally don't spend this much time talking about games they truly don't care about. What needs to change in Destiny 2? Well, if Destiny 2 wants to thrive long-term, many players believe several things need to happen. A better new player experience, so when new players can actually have a story that makes sense and actually have a fresh start, meaning they could make another game called Destiny 3, which would be very interesting, and it could make a way better player experience. More innovation in season content. Instead of just having the season pass, maybe have something added onto that. Maybe something less simple and something more harder to do because it's plain. Greater transparency from Bungie. Stronger community trust, like I've stated there, and perhaps mostly important, a version that feels exciting again. So, I'm just saying, Bungie, if you hear this, Destiny 3 is waiting for all of us. For old veterans and new exciting players, we're waiting for it. Before Destiny's biggest challenge, you may not declining players' numbers. It may be convincing that players that in the future is worth investing in. So is Destiny 2 dying? Maybe, maybe not. What seems clear is the game is at a crossroads. Some players see declining live service giant, others see a game that's simply going through another rough period before its next comeback. History suggests that writing off Destiny completely is a mistake. But history also shows that no game can rely on the past success forever. The real question is whether Destiny 2 is dying, whether Bungie can convince players that it's still the best days are still ahead. Do you think Destiny 2 is dying? Or is the community just overreacting? Let me know in the comments down below, and like and subscribe if you want to see more Destiny 2 content like this, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Goodbye!